Thank you, Chair, for your introduction to me and the other two distinguished paper presenters. And good morning, everybody in this room. First, I would like to thank you, thank the ICCAS and the Taiwan Democracy, Foundation of Democracy. Without their cooperation, I would not have been here. And this is the first time I am at my army. Although they told me that it is very rare to run at my army, but we brought the rain here. Okay, I was assigned to talk about the democratization in Taiwan. And by the way, I was asked by the sponsors of this panel to mention about China's political development. Suppose it has the democratization related. So about the direction of my paper, I actually did not have freedom from the Taiwan Democracy Foundation. But I'm kidding, okay. Actually, I decided the title of my presentation. It is, then you can see from the screen, the title is Democratization Taiwan Can, but why China cannot? In the beginning, I would like to show something, the PowerPoint to you. Okay, let me go on. This is this one. Yeah. Okay, the right one. Yeah, the right. Okay. The pictures are just my purpose to get your attention, because this is early morning. Okay. The right side is the national flag of Taiwan Republic of China, and the left one is the national flag of the People's Republic of China. Especially the Taiwan's national flag, is very similar to Malaysia national flag. So don't mistake next time. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. The right side, the upper one, on the right side, is the. It was the demonstration when the DPP's president Chen Shui-bian was in government. You can see a little bit. They were wearing the red T-shirt to demonstrate, to protest the Chen Shui-bian, the President Chen Shui-bian scandal. And the right side, the lower one, is the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. Maybe some people went to Taiwan already have been there. And the left side, there are two pictures. I just give you the contrasting. Okay. So the upper one is the Tiananmen. Okay, and the lower one is the place to hold the party congress of the CCP. Okay, I just want get your attention on it and get a little bit impression about the two sides of Taiwan Strait. All right, you can see the pictures of the demonstration. Okay. It seems that there's no difference, but actually, as the previous pictures I presented here, the right two pictures happened in Taiwan about the demonstration. Okay, the left side are the pictures happened. Pictures of the demonstration happened in China. They were appearing for the land property, which is a very, very hot issue right now in China. Okay, people are appealing their land property and the others. Okay. All right, the right side, see the green color T-shirt. In the middle is the President Chen Shui-bian. Okay, right now in jail. And the right side, the low one, is the current president, Ma Ying-jeou. And the left side, the up one, is the chairman of Jiang Zemin. He succeeded power of Deng Xiaoping. And the lower one is the current leader of the CCP, Hu Jintao. All right, this is the my outline of the my paper. The preface part. I mentioned about the Freedom House ranking about Taiwan. Right now, Taiwan has been rated as a complete democratic country, democratic state, almost for a little bit more than 10 years, a decade. Okay, and some scholars thought that Taiwan might be becoming the best case of democratization. Okay. On the other hand, China still remains one-party system. Although China right now has achieved very remarkable economic growth and development. Also, China government, the CCP, have raised the living standard of the people. However, as we see, there is no evidence showing that China already begins or will begin its democratization. Okay, that's the preface. I outlined the important point, my point here, because the time is not enough to talk the details. I'm not sure that everyone here has my hard copy. I don't think that you have. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah. After the panel, maybe you can ask it from the sponsor. All right. What I wanted to emphasize here is that at the first part, I will say something about Taiwan's case, how Taiwan have achieved, how has Taiwan achieved its democratization. I emphasized the, let me see, okay, hold on a second. Let me go to the outline of the Taiwan case. In the beginning of this part, I talked a little about Taiwan's historical background. In the past, almost more than 50 years, I'm not sure that most of you in this room are familiar with the history, especially the history of political development in Taiwan. But maybe most of you already know Taiwan's government moved from mainland China in 1949, led by the President Chiang Kai-shek. So for the political stability and national security, from 1950s through the 1960s till 1980s, Taiwan had been under the authoritarian rule by the mostly by President Chiang Kai-shek. So before the completion of democratization, Taiwan had been a typical authoritarian regime. We allowed, almost without, the political rights, although a little bit human rights had been given to the people of Taiwan. But however, it was a typical authoritarian government led by the Chiang Kai-shek. Then the ruling power transferred to Chiang Kai-shek's son, Jiang Jingguo. So we are very much used to say two President Jiang or two Jiang's rule in Taiwan under the authoritarian rule. However, I still will want to emphasize here, even under the authoritarian rule, Taiwan still achieved very, very marvelous, remarkable, unbelievable, the economic growth. Especially in 1960s, 1970s, even till the end of 1980s. I believe we have the other two very famous and excellent panelists from Taiwan. Later in the second session of this panel, we'll say something about Taiwan's economic development. But here I just want to point out that under the rule of the authoritarian regime led by two Jiang's president, the national security and the political stability had been the top priority of the national policy. But at the same time, Taiwan's government took the strategy to develop economic growth. Okay, so that's the strategy I believe President Chiang Kai-shek intentionally took this kind of strategy to consolidate its rule to Taiwan. Because to some of Taiwanese, they had thought the KMT, the Kuomintang, a ruling party led by Chiang Kai-shek, in mainland China era, we are used to call the nationalist government 国民政府. So most Taiwanese, let me tell you a fact. Almost the 2 to 2.5 million the soldiers and the public officials followed Chiang Kai-shek moving to Taiwan. So 85% the population in Taiwan are native Taiwanese, roughly. 15% of the population is we call it the mainlanders. Their ancestors lived in mainland China. Okay, so that's the basically population structure in Taiwan. So to most Taiwanese, the KMT government, Chiang's government, Chiang's regime, has always criticized as an alien the ruling government. That means the government came from outside of Taiwan. That's the opposition always questioned and criticized the Kuomintang government, the KMT, and even the two Chiang's president, just like the foreign regime or the colonial government from the outside. You know, comparing with the Japanese rule on Taiwan. That's the criticism always from the opposition. However, most scholars and researchers in Taiwan studying Taiwan's politics or political development recognize that the strategy to develop economic growth actually the strategy has worked and has been successful to consolidate two Chiang's presidents, especially the President Chiang, the first Chiang Kai-shek president's intention to consolidate his rule under the question of the opposition, and most to the end, always questioned by the opposition about the authoritarian regime's legitimacy on Taiwan. Okay, that's the first part first point I wanted to mention here. Ruling government took this strategy to consolidate its rule, and and also another point I want to emphasize is that the national security and the political stability, especially even right now, I mean in the 20th century, okay, from 1950s even to the 1990s, always well emphasized in Taiwan, the political stability and national security. I just told you that the KMT government afraid to Taiwan, moved to Taiwan, defeated by the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. Mao, the leader of the CCP, after 1949, announced at the Tiananmen Square, in front of the million of people over there, the establishment of the People's Republic of China. And Mao, when he was alive, always kept claiming that he he will reunify Taiwan with a violent force or military force. So, especially from 1950 to 1980, even to 1990, of course, the fate is quite different in the different timing. But however, Taiwan, even right now, the two sides close the strait are already resumed to the negotiation table. The tension of the closed strait right now reached the lowest point in history, and the tension right now is almost decreasing. But however, China never clearly renounced the way of military force to reunify Taiwan. So in Taiwan, most people can feel that the threat from mainland China, from Beijing, even right now. So in the threat from Beijing, the national security and the political stability always have been very important, the goals of government in Taiwan in the past. So I think that's the very important variable or variance factor to facilitate Taiwan's development, even with the very, very critical criticism and challenge from the opposition. But finally, people in Taiwan, the different political forces, finally can and could reach the agreement or some kind of cooperation under the concern of the national security and the political stability. Okay. Let me. Okay. That's why I'm afraid of that. I cannot finish it. Okay. All right. Let me tell you something about Taiwan's momentum of democratic development from long time ago. It is surprisingly about Taiwan's local political development. Till now, of course, we can explain from some concrete documents from like the Chiang Kai-shek's diary or official document to prove that Chiang Kai-shek really had the intention to keep the local elections and the self-government to carry on in Taiwan. Okay, the reason why Chiang had the thought to insist on holding the local elections and the self-government, of course, need to be explained. However, let me tell you the fact is that Taiwan's local elections and the self-government have been running smoothly, although with some kind of of course, corruptions or conflict and so on. But however, in Taiwan's local elections, there have been the regular elections. In the past, every 4 years, every 4 years we elect the city councilmen, the county councilmen, and the county magistrate, and so on. So Taiwan's people, Taiwan's voters, actually very much, are used to the electoral behaviors. They participate the local affairs very actively. So after the lifting of the martial law in 1987 by President Jiang Jingguo, the moving of liberalization and the democratization have been very, very fast. Almost all the scholars and experts in Taiwan studies, I think mostly political scientists, recognize that the local elections and the local self-government have brought the momentum to the later, after the 1990s, after 1990, the momentum of constitutional governance and democratization. Okay. So you can see that Taiwan, why Taiwan can move toward the democratization. One important factor is the local elections. People are used to elections. People are used to the voting station, to cast the ballots. Okay, and the other very important factor is that I believe Taiwan is a very typical pattern of the transformation from the authoritarian regime to the fully democratic government. The momentum not only from the bottom up, from the grassroots, the support to the democracy, and the momentum to initiate the constitutional governance actually came from the Jiang Jingguo's idea toward the constitutional governance. That means some initiatives has been from the top-down policies from the national leader. Okay, so Taiwan, because I do not have time to, okay. Let me just maybe 1 or 2 more minutes, all right? Let me see that. In 1996, people believe that it is the milestone of the completion of Taiwan's democratization, because in that year, Taiwan's people were allowed to elect their president directly, not indirectly. Before 1996, the president was elected indirectly. Okay, and in 2000, the presidential election, Taiwan happened the first time turnover in peace. The ruling power was changed and was passed from the KMT to the DPP. So that year, it is the first time of the turnover, especially the central government, the central ruling power. The transformation happened in that year, 2000 year. And in 2008, in Taiwan, there happened the second time turnover. So according to the political theory, Taiwan already has experienced 2 times turnovers. We can say that right now Taiwan is going into the stage of the democratic consolidation. That means it is hardly the reversible of Taiwan's democratization. Taiwan will firmly stay in the list of liberal democracy and participative democratization. Okay, later, if I have more time, I will talk something about China. Let me just stop here. Yeah,
Thank you very much, Doctor.